Hello, everyone. Trust we're doing good. You're welcome to another webinar that we are having today. And yes, happy new month. I'm your host, Akinwale Chibuike, as always, and welcome to another webinar. Like, it's amazing having everybody on here one more time, and it's a new month. So happy new month, everyone. Debbie, good morning. Soya, good morning. Ivo, good morning. Akko, good morning. Latifa, just good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, today we'll be talking about knowing your financial instruments. Happy new month to you also, okay? So, knowing your financial instruments is what we will be talking about today. And let's do the real thing we always do at first. The quick sound check. And everybody giving a response. I do know we can all hear me, but if you can hear me, please drop something in the chat box, okay? A yes in the chat box if you can hear me, actually. So drop something in the chat box. Thank you. And we all know the process on how we go about the webinar. Good morning, and happy new month to you also, okay? We know the process, which is first I'd have to tell you about what we do at Eagle Global Market and how our products help you. So first off, Eagle Global Markets is a financial institution that gives you access to trading the global financial markets. And trading the global financial markets means we're giving you financial freedom and a very good way to change your lifestyle and grow your wealth, to be precise. And we have a lot of products for you, okay? We have a lot of products for you, and more products still coming, which is the first one is the cloud trade, where you can trade the global financial markets in Naira. We have the copy trade, where you can copy professional and consistently profitable traders with a very, very small amount of money. And also we have the MT4, where you can trade the global financial markets in dollars, okay? So I hope we are all ready for today's class, and it's always going to be mind-blowing and fun-filled as always, okay? No, not at all. Eagle Global Markets is not crashing, okay? We are not those type of financial institutions that you think we are, okay? We only offer you service and access to the financial markets. We are not crashing at any moment in time, and there's no way we will crash, okay? So I don't know where you heard that from, but there's nothing of such here. Okay, so can anybody remind me of what we had in our last webinar? Can anyone remind me of what we discussed in our last webinar? Anybody at all? Anybody at all? What we discussed in our last webinar?
So you can send your relative or your family and friends.
Anybody at all? What we discussed in our last webinar? Okay. Wow, you were not in the last webinar. Okay, Alimat, I think you were in the last webinar. Debbie, Hope, I think you guys. I will explain it to you as there will be opportunities to ask questions very soon. Soya, you were on the last webinar, I guess. If you're on the last webinar, let's talk about what we discussed in the last webinar, okay? And I'll just wait a few minutes. No, not at all. Managing risk, exactly. We discussed risk management first. Let me confirm that. Okay, yes, we discussed risk management on Tuesday. Then we did an AMA session and Ask Me Anything session about the financial markets on Thursday. Okay, now I'm sure a lot of you learned a lot from the AMA session because nuggets were shared, insights were given, like a lot was learned from the AMA session and the risk management session that we had. And before we hop into today's topic, we hold meetings like this every Tuesday and Thursdays, okay? Every Tuesday and Thursdays. We hold meetings like this. And also we'll be holding a meeting like this on Saturday, which is a very basic meeting. We're just talking about introduction to the financial markets itself. This Saturday, 11 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. Then the one for the Saturday also is 11 a.m. Now, has anybody got any question at all about the financial market, even if it's not related to this topic? Yes, I will answer your question. Okay, you've asked the question. I'd like more people to ask. Okay, but let me start off with your question, which is Zulu Trade. Okay, Zulu Trade is the copy trading platform that we have here at Eagle Global Markets, where we give you access to consistently profitable traders. Good morning, Zainab. Where we give you access to consistently profitable traders, where you can copy their trade in an automated process and earn more money for yourself. So you are not doing anything. The trades are even copied automatically. All you need to do is to make a minimum deposit of $101 and copy the trades, automate the process and copy the trades. That's how it is. Very, very easy and simple. Good morning, Choma. Good morning. An hour. The webinar lasts an hour, but when it gets very interesting, we go 2 hours. Okay. So, any other question? Any other question at all? Okay, please do ask your question. Okay, ask your question. I'm still on here before we hop into today's webinar. Okay, please do ask your question before we hop into this webinar. Okay, do ask your question. I'm still available to take questions, but once we dive right into it, we've got 2 more minutes before we dive right into the webinar. If you don't ask your question within the 2 minutes, you'd have to wait till the end of the webinar to ask your question. Yes, there is, Zainab. Yes, there is. But with good risk management approach and the right settings, there's a very small tendency you will lose all your money when trading. Okay, so it's very key you do the right settings when you copy a trader, and also you apply the good risk management approach when setting up the trader you're copying. Any other question before we jump in? We've got a minute. Okay, reach out to your account manager. Okay, just reach out to your account manager. Chimaobi, reach out to your account manager. I believe you will get walked through on it. Okay, so yes, I said to reach out to your account manager. Yeah, it would actually walk you through when you want to copy a trader. I will be there to walk you through when you want to copy a trader. You've got nothing to worry about. Okay, let's dive right into today's class where we'll be talking about knowing your financial instruments. Okay, so first off, just a general question to everybody. Nobody's wrong on my webinar, okay? Nobody's wrong. It's just different perspective. Nobody's wrong. So what are financial instruments? So what is a financial instrument? Anybody at all? And yes, don't give me Google answers. Okay, I know when you go to Google and check for an answer, I do know that. Okay, so just your thoughts from the word financial instrument. What do you think financial instrument is? What do you think financial instruments is? Anybody at all? Anybody at all? Dennis, it's been a while. I saw you in my class. Wow. Yeah, I'm happy to have you on here today. And Silas also, it's been quite a while. Richard, Jude, it's been quite a while. I saw you guys in my classes. I'm glad to have you guys on board back. Okay, someone said monetary equipment. Okay, not really. So we don't understand what a financial instrument is. Wow. Okay, let's hop on the slide. So in this session, you'll learn what the financial instrument is, understanding financial instruments, categories of financial instruments, and underlying assets in categories of financial instruments. Okay. Now, when we talk about financial instruments, I'll use a very good example, like I used to. I will not be using cars today. Okay. Brilliant. Financial instruments are commodities, not really commodities, okay? Not really commodities, okay? We have other aspects also. So I wouldn't really say commodities, or you can just say financial instruments are things traded or exchanged in the financial market. I will take that from you, okay? Now, like I said, I'll be explaining financial instruments in a very simple term. We won't be talking about cars today, okay? You know how I love my cars, the W Motors, the Ferrari, the Honda, the Acura, and the likes. But not today. We'll be using the supermarket as an example, okay? Now, the supermarket is the financial market, okay? Yes, you can get the classes later, okay? You can get the classes later. It will be on our YouTube channel. We've got nothing to worry about. It will be on our YouTube channel. I would personally send you the link to our YouTube channel so you can check it, and a lot more of webinars on there for you to learn from. So I said we'll be using the example of a supermarket today. Now, take a supermarket as the financial market. Okay. Now, you need to have money to go into the supermarket, right? And the supermarket has section or categories. You have the fruit section, you have the beverage section, you have the kitchen utensils section, and a lot more. Now, that is how financial instruments are, okay? Or that's how financial instruments are broken down into. It has its parts, okay? So what generally is financial instruments? Financial instruments are assets, okay? Are assets that can be traded in the financial space or the financial markets. Or they can also be seen as packages, okay? Let's just packages in the financial market that you can trade. I will send you the link on WhatsApp, okay? You've got nothing to, I have your contact. I will send you the link on WhatsApp or via email. You've got nothing to worry about, okay? You can go on your errand, no problem at all. So, like I said, financial instruments are assets that can be traded in the financial markets, okay? Financial instruments are assets that can be traded in the what? Financial markets or financial space, anyone you want to call it. Do we all understand that? So, calling them in form of packages or using that example help give us a better perspective of what we're talking about. If we say something that can be traded, you know, when you walk into a supermarket with your cash, you can trade your cash for a bottle of soft drink, okay, for a bottle of beverage. You can trade your cash, give the cashier your cash, and get a pack of chip in return. Now, that's just the same way it is in the financial markets. These are assets that can be traded. You have a funded trading account. You go in to buy or sell a financial instrument or financial asset. Do we all understand? Yes or no? Please do respond so I can proceed. Do we all understand? Yes or no? Okay, great. Now, Understanding financial instruments. Now, financial instruments are not just what was it called? Are not just financial instruments. Okay, financial instruments are not just financial instruments. Now, there's a structure towards how financial instruments are. Now, what's the structure towards it? If we talk about Naira, Bitcoin, gold, oil, the Dow, and the likes, they are generally called financial instruments. But there is more to the way they are being arranged, or they are being categorized, to be precise. Okay? The financial instruments can be real or virtual, depends. Okay? You can either have cash physically, or cash in your bank, or cash in the crypto, or whatever you keep your cash or your money in. Now, understanding the financial instrument is that it can be virtual or what? Physical or real. Let's put it that way. And the value of a financial instrument is always priced. Okay, that means there's a price attached to the value of a financial instrument. It means if you walk, let's use the scenario of a supermarket, okay, a grocery store. Your dollar bill, a dollar bill that's $1, can actually buy you something worth $1. So you don't just go there with your dollar bill and want to buy something worth $10,000. Okay, your dollar bill will only give you that bag of chip worth $1. Your dollar bill will only give you that chocolate or that candy that's worth $1. It will never give you beyond that. And that's what I mean by understanding financial instruments. It can be real or virtual, and it always has a price tag to it. Okay, it always has a price tag to it. Do we all understand? If we do, please drop something in the chat box, and if you don't, please drop a no. Okay, let's do all to be quick with that. Okay, the thumbs up for me. Great. Okay. Great. God's power. Great. That's amazing. Now, Chimaobi said he doesn't understand. Okay, no problem. I will take it from the top again because of you. There's no need for you to type in again. No problem at all. I will take it from the top again because of you. Now, I said, for us to understand financial instruments, we have to understand that they can either be physical, that's real, or virtual. Now, when we talk about physical, it's like a Naira note, a dollar bill, and the likes. Okay. Now, when we say virtual, we can call it digital. Okay, like cryptocurrencies, money you have in your bank account. It's digital. You don't have it real. That's physical. And that is what I mean by the concept of understanding financial instrument and knowing that there is a price tag to it. Now, your dollar bill, when you walk into a supermarket, okay, it can only purchase you something equivalent to a dollar bill, never above a dollar bill. Okay, so if you walk into a supermarket with a dollar bill, you can only buy a bag of chip worth $1. You can only buy a chocolate or a candy worth $1. You can only buy fruits worth $1. Do you understand now, Chimaobi? If you don't understand, please let me know. Okay, just drop a yes or a no in the chat box if you understand or not. Great. Now we can proceed. Okay. So, understanding what the financial instruments is all about, then we can now go to categories of financial instruments. Now, on my screen, you see stocks, bond, commodities, currencies, and market indices. Okay, so stock, bond, commodities, currencies, and market indices, or indices to be precise. Now, when we talk about categories of the financial markets, we're actually talking about these things on my screen: the stock market, okay, the stocks and the stock market, the bonds and the bonds market, the commodities in the commodities market, the currencies in the foreign exchange market, that's the forex market, the indices in the bonds market also, and the Treasury Bill, and lastly, the cryptocurrencies in the cryptocurrency market. Okay, now these are just the categories of the financial instruments. Okay, stocks, bonds, commodities, Forex, which is currencies, cryptocurrencies, and indices. Okay, those five. These are the categories of financial instruments. And you need to understand that each of them have different underlying assets. They can never have the same assets classified under them. Okay? They never have the same assets classified under them. Do we all understand? So, what this is just helping you, or what this webinar is helping you to understand, is the fact that know what exactly you're trading. Not just when somebody says buy the Dow, buy US 30, you start asking what is US 30. Then they need to start explaining what US 30 is and the likes of it. Or not when someone says buy gold. You don't say gold is Forex. Gold is a commodity on the financial markets. Do we all understand? If we do, please drop something in the chat box. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I like the fact I'm getting the thumbs up, the thumbs up. It's actually a good sign that we all understand. Now, when we say underlying assets in categories of financial instruments, let's talk about the stocks market. Now, the stocks market, we get shares, okay? We get shares from there. And when we say we get shares from there, it's generally where you can buy shares of public companies like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. Now, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon are underlying assets under the stocks market. Okay, they are underlying assets under the stocks market. Do we understand that? That means if we are talking about the stocks market as a financial instrument, the underlying assets in the stock market, okay, that means the assets that are under or that are in the stocks market, we start mentioning what? Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, etc. Do we understand that? If we do, please drop something in the chat box. Okay. If we do, please drop something in the chat box. Okay. If we do, let's drop something in the chat box. If we do, let's drop something in the chat box. Okay. Just drop a yes in the chat box. Just drop a yes in the chat box. Okay. If we don't understand, let's drop a yes in the chat box. Okay, great. Brilliant. I'm glad God's power is understanding. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing you in my class, actually. And the first time. Brilliant. Now, let's go to the bonds markets, okay? The bonds market. Now, what is the bonds market, okay? The bonds as a financial instrument. The bonds as a financial instrument is just known as the debt market, okay? Where we deal with trade and issuing of debt securities, okay? Trades are dealt with and they issue debt securities. So what this just means is that this market is where the government or companies go to secure money to finance a project or investment, okay? And this is where you now hear them talking about the US bonds market, the treasury yield, and the likes, okay? That's where you see people talking about these things. And when we talk about the bonds market, okay, what do we have under the bonds market? This is where we now have the treasury bill, okay? The treasury bill, to be precise. Do we all understand? Do we all understand? We have the treasury bill under the bond market. We have the Treasury Bill under the bonds market. Okay, when I talk about the Treasury Bill, it's just like a bill or a receipt where once you've borrowed a certain fund, this is issued to you to show that yes, you've borrowed this money and you'll be returning a certain X amount of money plus Y amount of interest in a certain period of time. Okay. So the bond index consists of the treasuries, the industrial, the CMBS, the utility, the sovereign, the ABS, the covered, a lot. And people actually compare the bond market to the stocks market. To be candid, the bonds market and the stocks market have a very, very huge difference. Okay, and bonds actually tends to be less risky and less volatile than stocks actually. So do we understand now? Do we understand now? If we don't understand, please drop something in the chat box. Okay, no problem at all. Yeah, I just did. Okay, let me explain more on that bonds market. Okay, I said the bond market is often called the debt market, okay, or the fixed income market, okay, or the credit market. Okay, it has a lot of name, and it is just a collective name given to all the trades and issues of debt security. So the bond market is like where you go to and go and borrow money, but only the government and big companies have access to go to the bonds market and borrow money. Okay, so the government typically issues bond to raise capital, to pay down debts and fund infrastructural improvement. So that is the market they go to. Okay, and it is quite, I always say it's quite better for the government to get funds from the bond market than the stocks market. Okay, because the bond market is less risky, less volatile. It's just like how would I call it? It's stable something, but it's not really stable. But it has this feel of stability that comes with it. Okay, and that's just what it means. We will see the likes of mutual funds, life insurance policies, and a lot of them are structured under the bonds market. Do you understand now? Do we all understand now? So whenever you are trading stocks, or whenever you are trading the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, the first thing that should come to your head is the fact that you know that you are trading the stocks market. You bought shares of that financial instrument. Okay, you bought shares of that asset, and that's just it. The bonds market, when you hear them said they trade mutual funds, the government is getting funded by a certain body, just understand that it's the bonds market, a debt market, okay, the credit market. Now let's go to commodities. The commodities market as a financial instrument. Now the commodity market is where traders and investors buy and sell natural resources or commodities such as corn, oil, meat, gold, the likes. A lot. You can buy a lot of things on the commodities market virtually without having to go to a real market. You just trade within the specific price that is actually that price is currently trading at. And the commodities market, that is where you see gold, oil, maize, a lot, gold, oil, silver, copper, bronze, there's a lot actually, a lot. You would see maize, you would see meat, you would see cattle, you would see oil, you would see A lot actually. There are a lot of market that are being traded under the commodities market. Okay, and I believe we do understand that. Now, when we talk about currencies, okay, currencies, we're talking about forex. Okay, forex, the foreign exchange market, and the foreign exchange market is a $6.6 trillion market where you can make your own drop from. And what is traded in the forex market? That's the underlying assets, currency pairs to be precise. Currency pairs. We have the dollar, the naira, the Great British pounds, the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, and the likes. Where they are paired to one another, we have GBP, AED GBP, AED NZD, and the likes. Okay, so the currencies market, the underlying assets are actually the forex market. The underlying assets are actually currency pairs. Okay, currencies to be precise. Then the indices market is where we have the Dow, the US Tech, that's the Nasdaq. We have the US 2000, the S&P 500, and the likes. Okay, so these on my screen, these on my screen is the categories of the financial markets, and everything I've listed is the underlying assets in each categories of the financial markets. Okay, I missed crypto actually. No problem at all, Ajus. I think I was on a phone call with you this morning. The last one, which I will talk about, is cryptocurrencies. Okay, the cryptocurrency is a financial instrument. The underlying assets are the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, Cardano, Chainlink, Luna, Tron, XRP, and the likes. Okay, those are the underlying assets when it comes to the cryptocurrency markets. Okay, so that will be all for now on this topic. Okay, that will be all for now on this topic, and more emphasis will be made on this topic on the Thursday class. Okay, so the webinar on Thursday, please do endeavor to sign up, or let me send in the link right now so you can sign up and be prepared to join me on the Thursday class. Okay, I will send in the link to my chat box. So if you've got any question at all about what we discussed today, please drop your question in the question section, so I can respond to it. And also, if you've got questions, personal questions for me apart from what we discussed today, drop it in the question section also. I'll be glad to give you a response. So I'm trying to send in the link for Thursday class in for you guys so you can sign up and join me on the Thursday class. That's the link down below. Just click on it and sign up. Okay, we are still on the call. So majorly, the class is just structured to let you understand what you are trading in the financial market and knowing where it falls under. So you can't just tell somebody you are trading gold. When someone asks you, and this gold you're trading, what really is it? You now say it's Forex. No, it's a commodity in the financial space. And that's what I want everybody to understand. You can't trade Bitcoin. Then once I watch, you're trading Bitcoin. So what you say is, it's Forex I'm doing because they called it Forex. No, it's a cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency in the financial space. Or you can't be trading the Dow Jones or Nasdaq or S&P 500 or US 2000. Someone asks you, what are you trading? You not tell the person Dow Jones now. Then the person says, what really is Dow Jones? Then you say it's Forex now. No, you let the person understand that, okay, it's an indices in the financial space and can be traded on the Forex platform. Or you can't trade Apple and the likes. Then someone comes to you and say, what are you trading? You say you are trading Apple. Apple, how come? Then you have to just be a good person and explain to this person so he understands that you know what you're doing. And that's the structure behind this webinar. So I hope you do understand what we discussed. And that's the link to Thursday's webinar. I'd love everybody to sign up. And before we now go to the charts, okay, I would like to show you guys all these things we talked about on the charts. Okay, so we are not done with the class yet. I'll show you guys every single thing we talked about on the charts. Okay, so once we are done registering, okay, so Yes, I will respond to your questions. I'm not done yet. Once I'm done, I will let you know and I'll respond to the questions. So a few person has registered, a few people has registered actually. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my class on Thursday so we can conclude on everything we talked about today, where I'll be showing you guys how to approach this. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen right now. So everyone can see my charts. Okay, great. So I believe everybody can see my screen, right? So this is Bitcoin charts. You've got nothing to worry. This is just Bitcoin charts. And okay, so now let's just delete this and look at this, the stock aspect. And we have Apple, Resilience Industry, State Bank of India, HDCF Bank. All these are stocks. We have Tata Motors, we have Tesla, we have Tata Steel, we have AMC Entertainment. This is the financial instruments. These are the underlying assets. Okay, this is the financial instruments. These are the underlying assets. Futures is just something else. I really don't consider this. It's just like an expected price. Let's go to Forex. Okay, Forex. This is the financial instruments. These are the underlying assets. You see EUR USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, GBP JPY, and the likes. Okay, CFD commodities. Okay, commodities. We have gold, the dollar index, gold, US oil, and the Dow is classified under this actually for a certain reason. Then we have crypto, okay, cryptocurrencies, and we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, that's Ripple. We have Matic, we have Cardano, we have Ethereum, we have BNB, Binance Coin, we have Dogecoin, and the likes. Then the index markets, where we have the Dow, the Nasdaq, S&P 500. We have the likes of everything right there. And the economy, where we talk about the bonds market. Okay, so this is where you see it, the economy, the bonds market, everything right here, the consumer price index, the stock, the money stock, the ISM manufacturing index, and all. This is where you find everything. You see the treasury yield rate and the likes. Everything is just here, like the 30 years treasury yield rate, initial claims, and also like you get every single thing right here. That's just how it is, and you see how they look on the charts. So I do believe that that is quite clear enough, and I'll be heading on to the questions right now. Okay, so I'll be going to the questions now, and I do believe everybody has asked their question, because I'll be giving the right response now. Okay, so going through the question. Great. So Zainab said, my account is connected to Zulu Trade, although I haven't started trading yet. A dollar. Okay, on MT4 is for dollar trading. Okay, trading in dollars. You don't need to go and open a domiciliary account in your bank. When you send the money to us in Naira, we do the conversion rate in dollars for you, which is 450. And we deposit in dollar for you. When you want to withdraw, if you withdraw in dollar, we do the conversion for you at 450 also, and we send you back your money in Naira. That's how easy it is. Yes, you want to understand when to buy and sell. That's what we will literally be talking about on Thursday. You don't want to miss it, okay? Buying and selling at the right time. That's what we're talking about on Thursday, and you don't want to miss it, okay? Yes, it is very, very, very interesting. Trading the financial markets is easy once you understand the basics and you are able to make right decisions when trading, okay? That's just the thing. Understanding the right decisions when trading would help you be a better person when you analyze, when you look out for the charts, and when you see these things on the charts, okay? Always after the webinars, always go back to the chat to see examples of everything we discussed. So I just sent in polls right now. I'd love for everybody to respond to the poll. Okay, let's do what to respond to the poll. Thank you. Let's do what to respond to the poll. I'd be glad if we all responded to the poll. So please, let's respond to the polls. Just, we are 19 on the call, and just one person has responded to the poll. Like, we could do better than that. We all know that we could do better than that. Could do better than that. Okay, yeah, great. Thank you for responding. And I'd love to get more response, though. I'd love to get more response before we hop off this call. So any question for me before we end the webinar? Any question at all? Any question at all before we call it a day? Okay. I believe we don't have any more questions, and we'll be ending the webinar on this note. Okay, so let me tell everybody something before we end the webinar. Okay, wow, more questions. Dennis, not today. We won't be talking about correlations today. Okay, we'll talk about correlations on Thursday. I'd love for you to be on Thursday class. Yes, you can identify the right trader that will give you more profits. Okay. Yes, it is possible, God's power. It is very, very possible. Now, what I want to tell everybody is the fact that I've said this before. I say it a lot of times, and I don't know, I've not said it to the new guys on this call, but I'll be very, very candid with everybody. The only difference between me and you behind the screen on the other side is the fact that we put in the work. Practice makes perfect. It's not by coming to my classes regularly. No. It's by coming to my class and putting in practice the things you learn. And if you were on the AMA session we had, like, I advise everybody to go and watch the AMA session. Let me pull up the link. Let me pull up the link for everyone. I want everybody to watch the AMA session because the AMA session is worth it. Like, every question you have as a newbie. Okay? Every question you have as a newbie. The link is already in the chat box. Just scroll up. I dropped the link right there. Every question you have as a newbie in the financial markets. I believe those questions were asked during the last AMA session and it was answered. Okay, I found it. I found the link right here. You have to go watch that video because all the questions you ever want to ask me about trading, well, basic things in the financial markets, I talked about them in detail. Yeah, right there. That's the link right below. And this is the link to the webinar above it. Now, what I want to point out is, it's not about coming to my webinars, okay? It's not about coming to my webinars to learn. Yes, you learn a lot from my webinar, but the major thing is practicing, okay? Practicing. When I mean practicing, I'm not telling you to go to a demo account and start practicing. A demo account will ruin your mindset about trading. I tell people that always. Just my perspective, though. If you think demo is the good thing for you, demo trade. If you think you have 10,000 naira to spare to practice on the live account, please do. The live account gives you a feel of being in the financial market at the right time, of doing the right thing in the financial market. That's what a live account gives you. Not a demo account. You can mismanage the funds without emotions and all. But a live account gives you that real feel of the financial market, and that's what you want to feel. The real feel of the financial markets. I hope you learned a thing or two from the little thing I just said right now. Like, you get the point. So we'll bring the webinar to an end, and good luck and good trading. See you on Thursday, the next webinar.